Welcome to the read desk, and today I'm going to be making a day 1 oboe reed. I'm starting off with a piece of gouged cane. I'm going to find the approximate center and begin shaving away at that so it more easily folds over my knife. Once I've finished shaving, I'm going to start creating a groove in the center with my knife to allow it to fold exactly where I want it to. Now that I've created this groove, I'm folding it over my knife and finding that it's a little too thick in the middle and it's kind of curved on the edges instead of flat. So now I'm going back in to shave a little more so it behaves a little more how I want it to. I'm still finding that it's a little curved on the edges instead of more closed and flat, so I'm just going to encourage it to do what I want and squeeze it closed a little bit with my fingers, and that kind of got it to where I wanted it to be. Now I'm going in with my knife and cutting off the sides at the top of the cane so that it can fit properly on my shaper tip. Now that I have cut the sides off, I can place it on my shaper tip. I use the brand X shape, and I find that I get a really good and consistent result when using this shape. Right now, I'm making sure it's lined up properly on the shaper tip, and making sure the opening on each side is about the same. I recently started sharpening my razor blades on my whetstone to make them last longer. When you don't sharpen them, they can get through maybe 1 to 2 pieces of cane before you have to throw them away. When you sharpen them on the soft side or the fine grit of the whetstone, you can make them last a couple days before you have to throw them away. Now I can begin shaping. Like many things in music, it's best to do this gradually instead of all at once. I only take off a little bit of cane at a time as I make my way down to the tip. I make sure to get the middle, and then once I've gotten the bulk off, I start thinking about the left side and the right side independently to make sure I don't have any parts sticking out. You really want to make sure that you don't have any parts of cane that are bumpy or sticking past the shaper tip. Otherwise, your cane might not seal or the result might not be as consistent. I'm now repeating the same process on the other side. This is more so just a superstition of mine, but I swear that I make the best reeds on cane that has the crazy looking bark like this one, where it almost looks like a cheetah print or something. One side was longer than the other, so I'm just making a small clip at the end so it fits more evenly on the staple. I always shave the ends of the cane before I tie it onto the staple. I find this serves 3 purposes. One, it's an aesthetic. It helps prevent the cane from peeking through the thread and just makes your tie look prettier. It also helps prevent any cracks that are formed during the tying process from spreading up the piece of cane and keeps them more contained to the part you shaved. The third reason is it can help it form and fit to the staple a little bit more easily, causing it to produce a better and more responsive reed. The customer I'm making this reed for requested that I use blues and purples, so I'm using Mermaid by Squirrely Stash. I always wax my thread before tying. This helps keep the thread in place and also prevents leakage. I tend to tie my reeds really long at around 74 millimeters. I don't keep them even close to this length. I just find that I like having more space to work with, especially on the tip, and then I clip it down before I finish it. Now that I've finished measuring, I can begin tying. I try to start roughly 3 to 4 winds below the top of the staple, and begin working my way up, keeping an even tension the entire time. I'm always very careful not to overwind and make constant measurements to check that I'm in the right spot. Now that I'm at 47 millimeters, I can begin winding my way down. Once I get roughly 3 to 4 winds from the bottom, I begin tying. Whenever I'm tying, I leave room for at least 3 to 4 knots and keep making these knots until they meet the cork. The camera sadly didn't catch it, but once I finished tying, I clipped the ears off so it didn't dry open. I'm now going to begin shaving 5 millimeters from the top of the reed. I measure this flat on the table and draw the marking in for where I need to stop shaving. I understand this isn't 100% accurate, so I always remeasure once I've made the marking to make sure it is accurate. Once I begin scraping, I try to make sure that it's even throughout and that I stop at the same point 5 millimeters below the tip. I'm now going to repeat the process on the other side by measuring and then shaping. And that is what a day 1 read looks like for me. After this, I'm going to let it rest for a day before I continue to work on it. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, please leave them in the comments. And if you'd like to buy my reeds, you can find them on reedsbychuck.etsy.com. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.